Let me set the scene. Dave East, a rising star with real talent, is sitting right next to Jim Jones. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the people you think are mentors are just fixtures from your past, not architects of your future. Now, you might be thinking, is loyalty a weakness or a virtue? It's a fair question, because in the music industry, loyalty isn't just about keeping it real. It can be the very anchor dragging you down when it's time to soar. The tension here is as old as hip-hop itself, street credibility versus strategic positioning. We all crave validation from those who came before, but when has nostalgia ever built a billion-dollar empire? That's the real conflict. Staying true to old alliances or aligning with the ever-evolving game? Here's my resolution for you. Evaluate your circle like you'd evaluate your investments. Ask, who propels me forward and who keeps me stagnant? Because growth requires not just loyalty, but strategic alignment. And that, my friends, is how careers are made, not just remembered. Think about the term social capital. It's not just about who knows your name, but who picks up your call when opportunity knocks. Leverage your network, but never let it chain you to yesterday. So, Davies, or anyone hustling out there, are you leaning on legacy or are you aligning with power? That's the crossroads you're facing, and it's one you can't afford to overlook. Let's unpack a phrase. Jim Jones is content, and content gets you sacrifice. Now, content is a buzzword. Everyone wants to go viral. But have you ever stopped to think what happens when you become the content? In this digital age, being content isn't just about storytelling sometimes. You're the story. And when you're the story, you're expendable. That's the paradox. Visibility breeds vulnerability. Now you might wonder, isn't exposure good? Not always. When your narrative is in someone else's hands, you're just a headline away from being yesterday's news. Here's the technical term for what's happening. Media commodification. That's when your value is measured in clicks, not in character. You're no longer a person, you're a product, and products get replaced. So my advice, create content, but don't be the content. Tell your own story, control your own narrative, otherwise you're just a pawn on someone else's board. Ask yourself, are you sharing your message or just starring in someone else's spectacle? That distinction could be the difference between legacy and liability. Let's talk power, real power. 50 Cent isn't playing podcast games. He's not locked into internet banter. He's orchestrating moves in what we call the strategic influence game. You see, there's a world of difference between being popular and being powerful. Now, you might be thinking, but what makes 50 Cent different? It's simple. He outlives every era, every beef, every betrayal. That's what organizational resilience looks like, building systems and relationships that last beyond the moment. Here's a story. I once watched 50 Cent turn former rivals into partners. That's called resource reallocation, taking what could be a threat and flipping it into an asset. It's chess, not checkers. So, why does this matter for you, Davies, or anyone in the grind? Because if you want to thrive, stop playing small games. Start thinking like a mogul. Align with those who command the table, not just the crowd. The takeaway? Power is built on adaptability and vision, not nostalgia or noise. Choose your mentors, wisely study the moves of those who create lanes, not just walk in them. Picture this, Dave East, not just an artist on stage, but a force in the boardroom. That's a shift from talented to transformational. Now, some of you might say, but I'm not built for corporate. Let me tell you a secret, neither was Jay-Z, neither was 50 Cent. They grew into it. Here's where career pivot comes in a technical term for transitioning roles or industries with intention. It's elite, sure, but it's also a calculated risk. The conflict, comfort zone versus growth zone. Where are you sitting right now? The resolution? Take your experience from street conversations and translate it into boardroom negotiations. Your authenticity is an asset. Don't mute it, elevate it. Build bridges, not just tracks. And for every creative or hustler listening, ask yourself, are you building toward a room where your voice matters or just echoing in the halls of nostalgia? Action step, seek mentorship from those who made the leap. Study business models, not just mixtapes, because the boardroom is where legacy is negotiated, not just remembered. Here's a hard truth When 50 Cent puts that light on you, it's not beef, it's exposure. But let's break down what exposure really means. In technical terms, it's amplification. Your reach, your relevance, your risk all get magnified. Now, exposure is seductive. You get more eyes, more opportunities, more influence. But what if you're not ready? What if your foundation isn't solid? Suddenly, every weakness, every old tie, every unresolved issue is on display for the world to see. Imagine thinking you about to elevate, but instead you exposed, unprepared, unprotected. It's the digital equivalent of being thrown into the spotlight without rehearsing your lines. That's the conflict. The promise of opportunity, shadowed by the threat of scrutiny. So, resolution time. Build before you broadcast. Fortify your brand, your mindset, your team. Exposure without preparation ruins more careers than it makes. Use the spotlight to showcase your strengths, not reveal your blind spots. Here's my closing question. When the light hits you, will you be the star of your story or just another cautionary tale? Prepare now, so when opportunity knocks, you answer with confidence, not regret.